Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Friday, November 16th, 9 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. You're looking at the current GFS model. Let's not dawdle. Let's go right to the beginning. Going to have heavy snow the next 24 hours, moving in to Wyoming and all of Iowa. Winter weather storm warnings and watches in effect. Heavy snow in northern Maine will continue, and light snow moving into central Creighton, and then heads up for Gobble Gobble Day. Look at the 21st, 22nd as you move into Thanksgiving. The snow's going to start in the Sierras, move in to the west coast of the U.S., while there'll be lake effect snows and heavy snows in eastern Canada. Thanksgiving is going to mark the beginning of the heavy dump in the northern Rockies. We're talking record snows here, 3-4 feet predicted in the Sierras. We're going to have avalanche warnings and watches by Monday, November 26th. So the weekend after Thanksgiving is a record skiing day, an epic snow day, and as record snows pile up, fall is nowhere in sight for many states in the northern 48. Al Gore is nowhere to be found, and they're skiing in front of the White House. It's time to stop global warming. Oh, we did it. We did it. We did it, kids. And that is a snow shovel and the first boom of the night. Whoa, heads up. We did it. We stopped global warming. Keep calm, it's boom time. You've entered the effing awesome classroom. List of unaccounted for people after the campfire swells to more than 1,000. Where did they finally tell us about this list? I warned you about this last night, and the facts are in. Breaking news, a list of people who are unaccounted for after the campfire in Northern California has 1,011 entries. Butte County Sheriff and Coroner Corey Honea said Friday evening. The sheriff said the list will fluctuate in number because it's raw data and will definitely increase because it just went up tenfold in 24 hours. The death toll now is at 71 after 8 sets of remains were found Friday. And the amount of area to be covered is exceptional. Take a look. Devastating. The only words I can use, and a little bit of flute. I'll leave you links to all this below. Will the snowiest decade continue? Absolutely. They're withholding the information from you. This is coming from Boston CBS. Despite the snow blitz of 2015, many baby boomers still insist that global warming is happening. And we don't get harsh, bitter winter cold and deep snows like we did in the good old days. But you know what the facts are? They're full of it. Just as the Saffir-Simpson and Fujita scales were devised to categorize hurricanes, there is a Northeast Snowfall Impact Scale, the NESIS. And it shows that since 2008-9 winter, it has been the snowiest ever in the Northeast, ever since the 1950s, since anyone's alive. and it's only increasing. That is how brainwashed you are. You have no idea of the facts. You simply listen to the dogma, suck it in, and repeat it like a puppet. Like I'm pulling a string out of your arse. Global warming, global warming. Burning up, we're all gonna global warming, global warming. CO2, global warming, global warming, global warming, global warming, global warming. CO2, global warming, all burning up. Oh, well, maybe global warming causes fall northern hemisphere snow to increase in epic proportions since the 60s. I can't wait to read that paper. As it gets hotter, the snows get deeper earlier in the season, wrapping up Thursday's record snow in the DMV. I bet you there's records. Thursday's snow turned out to be a record breaker for November 15th at all the fucking airports. For most of the region, the cold air was more persistent than expected. Oh, I wonder why. Allowing for frozen precipitation to last longer. Do you see how they formulated that sentence? And nowhere do they say snow. Record snow. Ho, ho, ho. The snow and sleet came down so heavily that many areas where the ground was well above freezing, the ground was able to cool quickly. Then the snow started to accumulate because there was so much snow. The record was 2.2 inches, and what fell in DCA was 1.4. Now, if you can do mathematics, that is 700% more snow since 1906. That is a record-breaking record. A trace to 3 inches is an explosion. That's a boom-zosion of epic whoopstation. Then, whoa, I'm all right. It's cool. I'm cool. I'm the coolest guy in school. I know exactly what I'm. Whoa! Okay. It happened much quicker than I realized. Let's smoke a bowl. Holy shit, that was easy. Easy peasy. The facts are the facts. And we're about to have some snacks. Yesterday's snow was record-breaking around the DMV. Baltimore Washington International was the only one that crushed the record. The rest of them were exponential, unimaginable records being broken. 3 inches where there was never snow ever before since 1995. 0.2 the record in 1906, crushed by 1.4 inches. That is a multi-century record at DCA. And we're only getting started. We're only beginning to descend into the biggest flexure point of the grand solar minimum. And this is just the first opening winter. Wait till next year. You better be preparing now. If you don't know how to grow your own food, you're going to be part of the masses. You're going to be in a FEMA camp. You're going to be one of the tens of thousands that don't have places to go. So start now. You don't need money. You need Moxie. Moxie, M-O-X-I-E. Google it. And you need a game plan. You need a pencil and a piece of paper. Big winter storm shatters Syracuse snow records. These people know snow. Today's snowfall of 8.2 inches in Syracuse smashed the previous record for November 16th. Now, granted, the old record was only 3.3 inches, almost tripling it. It's only 3.3 inches. I don't even know how they published this shit. Could you imagine if it was 3 times hotter one day? That's impossible. But we get 3 times more snow than ever recorded in history, and it's just a little bit. The snow measured officially at Hancock International Airport also made today the 8th snowiest November day ever in over 120 years. The two-day storm total for Syracuse, now 10.8 inches. That makes Thursday and today the 13th snowiest 2-day period ever. Excuse me, I got all these fans blowing on me. I need a little water. Shungite. I want to thank you all for joining us for this live premiere of the update tonight. I hope you all watched our cosmic catastrophe footage, the interview I did with Rex Bear, as well as the independent piece I did on the Greenland impact structure. Hashtags November to remember. One snowstorm puts November 2018 into the Lehigh Valley record books. I live there. I grew up in the Poconos. I was a ski instructor. I blew out my ACL doing that, doing the bumps. Boogieing the bumps. Spring. I did my first helicopter at Gore Mountain at the base of the Hulabu. It's in 1985. 8 inches of snow in one storm. The Lehigh Valley probably sees that every winter. But 8 inches of snow in one storm in November? That only happened back on November 25th, 1938. And this was November 15th. Making it the most snow ever to fall in the Lehigh Valley this early ever in recorded history since humans were there. And that's where most of the milk in the Northeast comes from. And I love milk. It's the color of snow. Ho, ho, ho. This guy's about to blow! Boom! I meant to do that. I love watching this guy. This guy's pretty fun too. Boom! Oh. 5 snowiest November days in the Lehigh Valley. November 15th, 2018 is the snowiest, earliest day ever recorded ever. And they're trying to hide it under the 8 inches that happened 10 days later back in 1938. Those pricks. Put them up on the roof. Give them a shovel. I'm sick of it. Surprise snowstorm, truly a rarity. Oh my God. Call it a scarcity. Why the hell do they have these pumps on, these women? What the? Oh, they thought it was fall. Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. I used to live in Philly for 40 years. Surprise snowstorm, truly a rarity. Nothing like it in 65 years in Philly. Ever. Ever, ever, never. And my grandmother used to tell me she walked uphill both ways to school. In 15 feet of snow. Both ways. She had to leave 20 hours early. This was not supposed to happen so early in the season and has almost never happened before. Ow! You whore. Give us back your money and your Nobel Peace Prize. Al Gore's going to hell for that. Too bad hell's a false narrative created by evil people that rape children. The sheer rarity of the snowstorm that ambushed the region on Thursday with 8+ inches of snow in some areas likely was a factor for the global warming retractor. Yeah. And the ensuing mayhem that resulted in hundreds of traffic accidents, gridlock on suddenly snow and ice covered roads in the middle of fall that has never occurred yet because it's winter now, nightmare commutes, 1 death, and a storm finger pointing. That's worth anointing. In the slushy aftermath of a night of cold rain and winds gusting past 35 miles per hour, mass transit delays persisted on Friday. Almost no one got to work, and if they did, they're barely fired and barely getting paid, and it sucks anyway, and all you got is a pretzel to get, some shit from some Middle Easterner food truck. It's like $3. It's probably rotten, and they have rats. But the falafel's delicious and pernicious. Regional rail Paoli-Thorndale line was still shut down in the morning. Some schools in the suburbs decided to close. Many of them didn't have heat on yet. I remember that. We don't turn the heat on until December 1st. You idiots. Why Winter Storm Avery produced more snow than expected in the New York City area? They should then have quotes there say Oppenheimer Ranch Project knows. Put on your pantyhose. Snowfall totals in parts of the Northeast, including New York City, were higher than expected. I know, climate guy, you're young. We predicted 5 inches, what you got. And you even emailed me and said, don't use those models. It is not good to use the GFS model because I'm 18 and I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, well, you were off by 600%, bro. But we still love you because you forecast snow for the DC area. We nailed it. You didn't. And why didn't all the mainstream people nail it? Because they're clueless. Forecasting precipitation type and amount can be very tricky. Yeah, that's their go-to. It's been their go-to since I was a child. I've been through university, graduate school, and the like, and it's their still go-to. At that point, wouldn't you say, hey, we don't know what we're doing. Help me. You need to look at the sun, historical records, and look at the exact things that happened in the past, and then go out on a limb and just say it's going to happen again. And you know what happens when you do that? You're right. Because the past is the key to the future. Everything is in cycles. Everything is cyclic. Please don't let me get on a tangent. Cold air in place was stronger and low pressure was weaker than we thought. Hear this? I'm scratching my head. The snow is heavy and arrived in the late afternoon and early evening. Drivers navigating the first snow of the season were totally fluxed. Clogged roads got into accidents, piled up, deaths reported, trees came down. 12 inches in Poughkeepsie, 8.1 in Allentown, 15.4 Warsaw, New York. They have a lot of pork out there, and that's good. 6.6 Nashua, New Hampshire, 8.2 Worcester. You could say Worcester. Worcester. I know you want me to say Worcester. That's not how it's said, unless you live there. Because I lived near Worcester, PA. Worcester. So it depends on your dialect. If you want to say Worcester, then you can just join the whole flock of idiots that say Worcester. 6.4 in Central Park. That is a mind-blowing total. And yet, not one single mainstream article on the impact of that record, 6.4 inches falling in Central Park in New York City, and not a peep from the media there because they're not allowed to talk about it. Don't talk about it. It is not snowing. It's hot out there. Global warming, you love it. Pay your taxes. It's hot. Do you see how hot it is? He's hot. It's hot. Do you see how hot I am? I'm naked, making angels in the hot, white global warming of hotness. Feeling so hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. As it is often the case of disgrace, forecasting the precipitation type and the amount near Interstate 95 is pathetic. And they say tricky. And they can suck my... Yeah, I didn't say it because this is PG-13. Rain, snow on the way. Winter weather advisory issued for North Iowa with live road conditions because these roads are going to be live with dead people. I can see them. I can see dead people. So I make snow angels. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Traffic flows through the South Monroe Avenue and 5th Street Southwest intersection of Mason City, Iowa. Looks like shite. Oh my God, get on the roof. Whoa! All right, I'm on the ground. I'm cool. It's cool. I'm totally awesome. Look, I have a red shirt on and I'm totally awesome. I am the manager of this lodge. Ski school much? Boom! I love my job. A winter weather advisory has been issued for North Iowa, of all places. 4 inches in Mason City, 6 to the north. My models are showing a heavy accumulation in the center of the state, which means they're wrong there, too. Good job, idiots. We're about to get to my forecasting that has been correct so far. Winter weather storm watches and warnings in effect. Lavender and pink. Smell your pinky, it don't stink. And they have a new color coming out today in light blue called a frost advisory that is now extending even further into central Florida. I'm not retarded. Check it out, man. Winter storm warnings in western PA, lake effect snow, tip of Maine. I'm not insane. 326 counties in the U.S. in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 states, including freeze warnings in the middle of fall. Where was fall? When did it fall? If you're in the pink zone, don't drive. Stay alive. Let's check out what they say. I'm not gay. Winter storm departing northeast. Cold front to deliver locally heavy snow for the northern to southern Rockies and upper Midwest. I'd like gay people, though. I worked in the gay rights movement for a decade. The early season record winter storm is gradually departing the northeast today, but lingering impacts of heavy snow, mixed precipitation, frozen roads, black ice is not nice. In the gusty winds and coastal flooding will continue. Meanwhile, Jimmy's back in Boston. He seems to go back there every time it gets buried. A cold front plunging through the upper Midwest and frontal range in the Rockies will produce locally heavy snow from North Dakota down through Minnesota. Say it ain't soda. And also, look at Colorado. Yeah, that's the Northeast. Heavy snow from North Dakota to southern Minnesota and from the northern to central Rockies. Click on your county for info. Don't be a dum-dum. Do it. Learn how to use the computer. Stop emailing me that you've done research for hundreds of hours on LeakCon and there's no links. If you Google LeakCon 2019, all one word, all the links are there. That's how Google works. You can ask it anything. Let's check the GFS model. You're buried. We already looked at it. Whew. Here's your Thanksgiving right there. 3 feet of snow for central Idaho. Heavy snow, 41 inches showing up in the Cascades. 41 inches showing up in areas of Washington State. Multiple zones of 4 feet or higher showing up for the entire Sierras. The drought is over, kids. The grand solar minimum is back. The deserts will green, and this is just the beginning. Seismic update. No quakes of note. We have a huge stacking of quakes out here. Nothing to fear. It's over, kids. 6.2 in the Solomons has been followed by multiple aftershocks. No tsunami reported. The mid-ocean ridges are spreading. That water is heading down and the sea level will be dropping. They're trying to hide the truth about sea level dropping and they can't. It's plateaued for 4 years. It's being sucked up into these fissures. Worldwide volcano news update. Popocatépetl has been jiggling today. Reventador Sabancaya Abico erupted. Yes, it did. It was reported and observed. Sporadic strong puffs at Sabancaya. We've been at KP0 for a lot. Remember, we went almost a whole day in KP0 just a few weeks ago. And we're going to be continuing to do that. We even had a small flare that almost reached B range. Yes, it's amazing what's happening on the sun. It's dead, but it's alive. It's alive! But it's dead. That's what grand solar minimum means, dead. But it also means psychic ability, near-death experience, and other cool shit. People with myocardial infarction and old people are going to die in epic proportions as we hit KP0, unless they can meditate and relax and learn to deal with the perturbations. Those of you that are inclined to evolve, the woke, should have no problem with this transition. In fact, it enlivens us. It energizes us. Information is occurring in my brain. And it's making me insane. In the membrane. Whew. And the sun is alive. We have a slight A flare up into the high A range. That's not strange. But it is this little bugger that's moving over the wind and it's getting the limb and it's getting more active. And we're going to watch it. I gotta just shut this off. This is making me crazy. Whew. 18 minutes in, I'm getting crazy. Never lazy. What were we just talking about? As the PDF loads, we shared it. I'm going to share this scientific paper. Water input into the Mariana subduction zone estimated from ocean bottom seismic data. You know I've been talking about the spreading of the earth and the sucking up of the oceans, and the powers that be and scientists around using multidisciplinary approaches are starting to come to the same conclusion that I am. The earth is capable of sucking up massive quantities of water. In fact, based on new data, up to 3 times the amount of water suspected before, which, if you're not aware, is 3 times more than was suspected prior, which is almost off by a factor of 3, which is triple, if you think about it, which means they're off by 3 times, which is insane. Now, the water cycle at subduction zones remains poorly understood, but I think that I am understanding it better. That certain times the earth swells through the cosmic ray increase, we expand like a ball because we're heating up from the center out. And those cracks suck up the ocean, causing sea level to fall even if there's no glacial ice. In this case, we have a little bit of ice, but it will still rapidly be consumed and evaporated by underwater volcanoes at the same time. It's a compound effect. There are so many factors that occur on these events. We're only beginning to unravel them. And they are so multivariate that anyone that claims to have the answers is full of shite. We're unraveling them as we go. Like this guy, he like knows everything. I'm like, all I do is like save people, man. I'm awesome. Whoops. See, I know how to shovel. I'm great. And then there's this guy that makes angels, and he's just as good because he has a skill. He knows how to make wings in the snow that only he knows. Equally as important, I guess. So, keep an open mind. Once you close it, oh yeah, and stop sending me those emails about nothing to do with anything that I care about. I'm on a new kick. I've blocked like 50 people from emailing me. So if you're emailing and there's no answers, that's because you're blocked. Finally. I figured a way to relax. And it's to watch the fireballs come that don't hit us. Because the ones that hit us will make the earth rattle and I won't be relaxed anymore. So I'm going to relax and watch a fireball hit us. That was maybe a seed. Whoa! That could be a draconid. Or a leftover Taurid. Or a piece of a space station. Tyler! What was it? Let's loop it. Should have took a bong hit. Very bright fireball caught over Texas. Sonic boom reported. Lots of cowgirls sharting their pants. A very bright meteor was caught over Texas at 3:25 UTC on November 16th. Now, the object was seen for 3 to 7 seconds and followed by a sonic boom. And that's a boom boom. Yeah, watch this guy. Meteor hits. Boom! Yep, and that's what happened. Just like that. It was primarily seen from Texas, but was also seen from Louisiana, Oklahoma, and space. Which they failed to mention. These idiots. There's the angle of trajectory and visual complexity of the trajectory. You could probably look at it in HD, but that would take up too much bandwidth. Let's get on with the update. Advisory group skeptical of NASA's lunar exploration plans as well as the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. That's because they're hiding what they're actually doing on the moon. Many countries are on the moon currently with secret bases right in your faces. And NASA says things like, oh, we don't remember how we got to the moon. We lost that notebook. That's why Rex Bear and I want to actually do an Indiegogo, gather our own interdisciplinary scientists that are independent of the mainstream, and launch our own satellite to look at our own moon, which is our own because it's our moon. The government doesn't own the moon, and it doesn't own space, and it doesn't own you. But it does, because you let them. But I think we can do this. And if we can get it up there before the event happens, maybe we will be the ones to restart things. Washington, NASA's plans to return humans to the surface of the moon within 10 years got a chilly reception from an advisory group yesterday who called the agency to accelerate that time frame and reconsider development of the Gateway facility in lunar orbit. At the meeting of the National Space Council's Users Advisory Group at NASA headquarters, Tom Kremens, Associate Administrator for Strategy and Plans at the agency, provided an overview of the NASA exploration campaign. And he said it's total shite. A concluding slide from his presentation outlines NASA proposed achievements by 2028 under the campaign. A bulleted list of milestones included returning humans to the lunar surface. Underlined for emphasis, that plan, he noted, is notional and depends on budgets, which do not exist. You know why? Because they've spent it all for themselves. There are billions of missing dollars. 6 trillion, in fact, that we know about. It's up to us to save our own asses. That's why I'm giving these classes to the masses. They're not going to shut us down because I don't threaten anyone. And if they did, the uproar would be huge. They've been monitoring me for decades. They have every opportunity to take me out, and they haven't. Because I'm one of the more reasonable people. And I'm here to help you. Now, how a volcano caused the Middle Ages, sort of. Now, a paper coming out that might seem to have nothing to do with anything. Alpine core evidence for the transformation of the European monetary system. Very strange thing happened in ancient coinage. Now, I know this because I'm a numismatist, and I made most of my money on eBay selling coins right before I moved out here. You can too, so look into it. Somewhere around 500 AD, the coins went from gold to silver exclusively. And it turns out a volcanic eruption had a lot to do with it. Now, while it's debatable whether or not 536 CE was the worst year to be alive, because 2020 might be, or 2021. I think it's going to be 2032, but anyway, I digress. While it's debatable whether or not 536 CE was the worst year to be alive, it seems like it might be a strong contender. A new open access paper published in the scholarly journal Antiquity suggests a titanic volcanic eruption of 536 CE caused a literal fog to descend over much of Europe for more than a year, ultimately dropping temperatures in summer by 2 degrees C. Crops failed, famine ensued. A devastating plague swept westward after a few years, wiping out 20% of the Mediterranean population. Now, these types of events have occurred time immemorial, and you never learned about them in high school. That's why you're in this school, which is New School. By analyzing massive ice cores from a glacier in Switzerland, a multidisciplinary team of historians and scientists, including paleoclimatologists, were able to measure the amount of lead in the air between 530S and 630S CE. Because silver production relied upon smelting silver from lead, increased amounts of lead in the air, then trapped in the ice, likely points to increased demand for silver coins. What this research group found was that lead particles decreased in the 540s, but then surged in the 640s. If you want to know more about it, come check out the article. But what you should glean from this is that this is related to the sun. The crop loss and the volcanic activity is related to increased cosmic ray flux. We're at KP0. The cosmic rays can't be higher than that. And it's for extended periods of time, and you're living it. So it's only a matter of time before the Saturnian myths return. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you haven't been watching all 805 videos I've produced. Myths are history. And if you want to know more, check out Gino Cook, Saturnian Cosmology. And in fact, he is one of the truthers like myself that don't charge anything for anything. And in fact, you can get his books free online. I'm going to show you and share you this free online version of Recovering the Lost World. Take a look at this drawing from 1514 AD. This isn't make-believe. This is really what was happening back then. Study the picture. What you will quickly learn is that you are completely lied to. There is so much information that has been withheld from you. It's criminal. Introduction and background, established archaeology, mythology, and remote antiquity, narratives of ancient history, the start of modern history, the parallel Mesoamerican record, long-range Mesoamerican astronomy, and the appendix. If you want a place to start to do your research, to open your eyes to the truth, it's here. Do it. Do it now. 37 minutes and 33 seconds later, and we're making snow angels. We love each and every one of our supporters, our Patreons, our one-time contributors, people that were with us from the beginning that are sending me seeds. Hidden Harvest Grow Lights sent us out 2 light sets. I'll leave links below for them. And we're about to do a seed giveaway. I'm going to do it right now. Boom! We have 15 varieties of free seeds we can send to you, including Oppenheimer Ranch, open pollinated, Love Lies Bleeding Amaranth. I have Asian Oso purple cabbage. I have flowers. I have fruits. I have brassicas. You send your request to me with a self-addressed stamped envelope with your return address. If you don't know what that means, Google it. You need to learn how to be self-sufficient. And if you don't know how to research, that's a big detriment. So learn how to research today. Send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and your seed request, and I will send you back seeds. I'm going to real quick look at what we got. It's not that far off. It's back here. So we have a lot of amaranth. We have black amaranth. We have Love Lies Bleeding. It's a pink amaranth. I can send you sorghum. I can send you giant Asian mustard. I can send you purple pestamon. That is a native wildflower here that is perennial at zone 3. Send me your requests. I have millions of seeds, probably 10 million. My seed vault is deep. If you ask me for seeds that you need, I guarantee if you send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, I will return you the seeds that you need for free. Send your envelope to Diamond at the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, 3915 County Road 335, Pagosa Springs, Colorado, 81147. The address will be in the links below. Free seed giveaway. If you need them, I got them. And I want to give them. I have enough seeds to feed the nation. And that's my frustration. We love each and every one of you. You can do it too. Start failing now. Survive and thrive in the future. Join us. We love you. Be safe. LeadCon 2019!